After an extremely weird trading day yesterday, we see Tesla beginning its run up towards and probably through 260 today. I am still trying to figure out what in the world happened yesterday. It was one of the weirdest stock charts I've ever seen for Tesla in a market that was otherwise pretty decent. And Tesla starting off so well. If anybody has a theory on yesterday, because there is always reasons. And and Larry Goldberg, you got to love him. He says, well, it's just there was more sellers than buyers, and he's 100% right. I just feel like there's more to the story. But anyway, today I think we're going to reverse the trend yesterday. We're going to see Tesla continue the trend. It's going to bust through the 260 level. And we will be on our way, hopefully, to the 300. Now, remember, my 300 number for the end of the year is not a firm number. That's kind of one of those, it seems like that's where the stock ought to go. Not nearly as firm as my all-time high by the end of January, which is a much bigger get, don't you think? And I think we're going to get there. The numbers today in China will help. The hiring that you're seeing taking place is going to help. And we'll talk about all those things as we get through the morning. This is Randy Kirk. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. We're almost to 20,000. We're on the way to 20,000. I'm told by folks like Brian White that when you hit 20,000, it really changes the algorithm that YouTube looks at you differently when you're over 20,000. So help me get there. If you haven't subscribed already, please take a minute and go ahead and subscribe and then notify. All right, we got new stuff happening today. With normal stuff. Brian White will be here. He'll be here, around 11 o'clock. We recorded a very, very fun video yesterday and useful video yesterday. And then tonight on Good News Tuesday, I have a new co-host. Nick Gibbs or Nicholas Gibbs. I'm not yet sure 100% whether he prefers one or the other. Nick Gibbs will be joining me tonight as the new co-host of Good News Tuesday. So look forward to that one. All right, let's look at, there's one quick more thing besides Patreon. If you haven't joined Patreon yet, that'd be lovely. I need some more support for the channel. And then, of course, you want to buy your Tesla Cybertruck. We're down to 4 days. What is it? 4 days until Saturday is the last day that you can receive U.S. mail before Christmas. Plenty of time. If you want it to go out, if you're only going to buy one and you want it to go out special handling, I need an extra $5 for that. So it'd be $30 for one instead of $25, or take your chances at $25, because there's still a pretty good chance you would get it if you ship out regular mail on the singles, and everything above that is going to go out special handling. All right, let's see. This morning, we have got the Tesla China numbers. Sawyer Merritt reporting. He says 18,300 Teslas were insured in China last week, up 35% year over year. We have Troy Teslike saying that means he can move his expected number up a little bit, meaning the 1.8 million in his mind is now pretty secure. We'll see what happens with the China numbers next week, but overall, that is good news. On the other hand, there is some reporting about BYD possibly passing Tesla in total unit sales of BEVs worldwide, and all I say is good for them. They're a fine maker. We need them if there's any chance of ending ICE, because General Motors and Ford and Volkswagen and Mercedes and Toyota and Honda, these folks aren't helping. So BYD is going to take that spot, and they're growing like crazy. And I just say good for them. Tesla, on the other hand, I wish they would definitely expand their capacity in China. It looks like that is going to take place, as well as I would like to see Elon really put pedal to the metal in Berlin and in the U.S. in Austin. I think they could have built more cars this year. I think he just felt like it was going to be hard to move that much metal. We'll talk about some reasons why, or things I think should have been done last year here in a minute. But that's what I would hope and expect for this year, as conservative folks, Gary Black and Larry Goldberg, pointing to 2.4 as a makeable number for next year. Could even be more than that. There's certainly the capacity for more. but that would be a lovely number. That's an okay number. I can live with that one. All right, let's talk about a couple of hires that Tesla Booma Mama has come up with this morning. She says, isn't that interesting? Tesla is looking for a senior business development manager to work with other Fortune 500 companies and sell B2B hardware. And she says, I guess we're going to see many more deals like the BP one, where, you know, British Petroleum, their old name, BP, you know, is going to be putting in the superchargers at their facilities, especially in the United States, but in other countries as well, apparently. And now we've had 2 or 3 others that have joined that chorus recently. So here's kind of the description of the job: enable the next growth phase for Tesla's charging business and the broader EV industry by joining a new team that is built around extending the reach of Tesla's charging products. As business development manager, you will enable tremendous growth of the EV charging market, working with top executives at Fortune 500 companies across a large range of industries. You'll play a critical role in facilitating North America's transition to electrified transport and sustainable energy. You will also become an expert on Tesla's supercharger, wall connectors, and semi-charging products. You will solve for light and heavy-duty vehicle fleet infrastructure solutions at the lowest possible cost and enable electrification for entirely new industries across North America. That's how it was described in the what to expect section for the job post. Okay, well, if you look back in the Elon Musk mission, if you haven't bought one, how come? 80%, 75% of that book is still 100% cogent, 100% forward-looking, 100% you don't know it yet. Okay, so you should buy the Elon Musk mission on Amazon, and the Elon Musk method for that matter. It is also 100% still reliable and important information. Anyway, but I made suggestions in the Elon Musk mission along this very line. What I'm wondering, I don't think they have a fleet manager, somebody in this exact same position who is trying to sell fleets to police departments and governments and to the the Army and to the Highway Patrol and to other rental car agencies and to corporations. I don't think they have a fleet department, a fleet manager. I think that would have helped in 2023 rather, to sell a lot more cars. There's other opportunities like that where Tesla could be more forward-facing, more proactive in getting stuff sold. I'm not sure that of all the things that I've ever seen about Elon, the one thing I'm not sure that he is a phenomenal expert at is sales management. Hire me, Elon, even for 6 months. I think I could help your forward-looking expertise in that department. Anyway, we also have another position out there this morning, a new position for an individual in Mexico to work with the Mexican governments on the infrastructure build-out. So that's good to see that Mexico is moving forward. By the way, I forgot to mention this last night. It's not a Tesla item, and I had it in my notes, but I forgot it. Starship will be launching on 12/28. And you know what else is going to happen? On about New Year's Eve is that Brian Wong and I will be launching that new channel I was telling you about, which will be a weekly video where we will encapsulate all the amazing things that are happening in science that he reports on the #1 largest science blog in the world. And in the fact that in the known universe, it's way beyond the world. Anyway, he and I will be doing it, be like an hour show once a week, and we'll just go through the top stories of the week. We already know a couple of those top stories, and they are mind-boggling. But one of them will be, hopefully, reporting on Starship's test and hopefully successful launch into orbit on the 28th, or, you know, and usual, it might be the 29th. Anyway, we also have Cybertruck will have a mod package that will allow the truck to go 100 yards or more as a boat. So as promised by Elon originally, apparently it has this capability. This will be something I will wait for hundreds of people to try before we try it in our Cybertruck when we get it. Not even sure we'll buy the mod package, but if you think you need your Cybertruck to act as a boat, at least you'll have the ability to give it a try. From Rohan Pete, which is at Rohan Pete. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Pete Patel. I'm sorry, Patel. P-A-T-E-L, Rohan, R-O-H-A-N, Patel. It's hard to be definitive about this, but based on the data I've seen, I think Tesla is not only the most American, every vehicle sold in America is made in America, but is also the most European for Giga Berlin and the most Chinese for Giga Shanghai. This is based on local content and is part of the regionalization strategy to enable the most environmentally sustainable products and also the most resilient to any supply chain or geopolitical disruptions. So Elon Musk, this is another first. This is something that nobody else does. Elon has said, look, every time I build a gigafactory, I'm going to build a set of suppliers around it so that right there, so that we're not shipping atoms, we're not shipping molecules all over the world in order to get to that plant. We're going to do our best to localize it. And as a result, it may be, that would be crazy if we could prove that. Hey, work on that, Tesla. Is, in fact, the Chinese-made Teslas the most Chinese vehicles in China? Is the German vehicles that are made in Berlin, are they the most German vehicles, more so than Volkswagen or Mercedes, or go down the list? That'd be really interesting to know. And we definitely know that the 4 vehicles currently being built and the new Tesla Cybertruck are the most US-made vehicles in the United States. Lars, I think it was Lars the other day, was trying to think of even one product, even one item, even one atom in the Tesla Cybertruck that wasn't made in the United States. That doesn't mean raw materials, but he's talking about finished product. Okay, Bradford Ferguson is saying, one of our co-hosts, our Thursday night co-host, he was saying on X yesterday, the EU claims it has not prejudged its infringement proceedings against X, yet in the same statement refers to the so-called community notes system. Using the word so-called is incendiary and shows that the EU's bias is already prejudging X in their planned investigation. Not good. Okay, here's one that I predicted. Again, I didn't think it would happen this fast, but when the interest rates go down, the builders get happy. We saw that in the builders' confidence numbers yesterday. And I certainly didn't think we'd already be seeing it in the single-family home building numbers yet and in the permits, but we are. The numbers are out this morning. U.S. single-family home building surged in November and could gain further momentum with declining mortgage rates likely to draw potential buyers back into the housing market. Well, you got to get the sellers back in the housing market first because there's no inventory. You got to have more homes being built. But here you go. Single-family housing starts, which account for the bulk of home building. What? Single-family housing starts, which account for the bulk of home building? What else would there be? Help me in the comments below. How else do you get houses built if they don't have housing starts? Is there another stat? Am I missing something? Anyway, they jumped 18% to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.143 million units last month, according to the Commerce Department's Census Bureau on Tuesday. Data for October was revised slightly lower to 969 instead of what was 970, a whole thousand. Permits for future construction of single-family homes also increased by 0.7% to a pace of 976. Okay, so that's the permits is what we haven't seen the real increase yet. What you have is the permits that were in place. That was easier. That was faster for companies to say, okay, we've already got the permits. Let's go ahead and put the spade in the ground. That is what's taking place. We've already seen that number increase. Great. I'm expecting permits and starts to start really showing some increases next month. The rate of the popular 30-year fixed mortgage is now down to 6.95, and that's the lowest we've seen since August. Truflation is down to 2.8. I think the whole thing with the interest rates coming down is actually going to help the number on the inflation number because so many things are impacted by borrowing costs. So we're going to see actual inflation decrease as a result of the cost of borrowing going down. All right, let's take a look at the numbers. Where are we now? Is Tesla? Well, Tesla has jumped up to 256 and is now back to 254.67 cents. So, and now it's making another turn going higher. I'm telling you, it's going past 260 today. That is where we're going. I don't actually know, and I'll probably be wrong, but it's fun to experiment. And that is based on my analysis, connecting the dots and what everything that's going on in terms of news. I'm saying we're crashing through 260 later today. We've got the Dow Jones up 0.37%, the NASDAQ up 0.26%, S&P up 0.25%. So we have the Dow again doing better than the NASDAQ a little bit. This is that thing we talked about, a possible rotation taking place. Although when I looked earlier today at the beginning of the market, the Russell was down. So that doesn't fit the overall plan that I've been talking about. We've got the Magnificent Seven are mixed this morning with NVIDIA and Amazon and also Microsoft all down. So four up and three down. We have got the Cathie Woods all up reasonably good. The Cathie Woods are doing very, very well this morning. You know what I'm gonna predict right now is that the bonds are doing well this morning. There's a bond rally going on. Let's go find out if I'm right. Here we go into the bonds. We have got, yes, a big bond rally going on. The 10-year is down to 3.90, potentially going down below that right now. That is the momentum is definitely down. Looking at 5.5 basis points down this morning. We have got the 2-year joining it, but only down 2.8 basis points. And we have got the 1 month, the 2 month are, well, okay, the 2 month is basically flat. But everything except for the 3 month is actually the yields are down, meaning that there is a rally taking place across the board in the bonds this morning, pretty much everywhere, which is why the Cathie Woods are doing so well. I don't know. That's just, you can pretty well count on it. Right now, those stocks are reflecting the bond market more than any other single feature. And Tesla tends to be following the Cathie Woods right now. I know nobody else thinks the way that I do, but you know what? I can show you the charts. It's just been going like that for some time. Okay, let's look now at the rest of these numbers. We have got the oil numbers are, it's barely up, 1.21% at $73.35. There doesn't seem to be a tremendous amount of fear yet over the Red Sea and the Suez Canal and the things that are happening there with shipping. I think, like Larry Goldberg said last night, people are expecting the European and the United States and the Europeans to do something about the Houthis. They're not going to just sit here idly by and allow that shipping lane to be disrupted like this. We got natural gas down this morning, down $2. I'm sorry, down 2.84%. We have gold up fairly strongly this morning. Now, that might be the beginning of a reflection of what's going on or it might be because the Japanese are staying so loose on their money, and that might be driving the dollar up a little bit. We'll see what's happening there in just a second. Got copper up 1.97%, gold up $13.90 at 2,054. You have got the yen definitely, it says the dollar's flat, okay, and the yen is not. Everybody thinks the Bank of Japan is going to be loose, and I thought that was already a done deal. All right, I'll report on that later today on what took place. And then you have got Bitcoin up decent, 42,386, up 546, and then you have got that's it. That's all that we have to report, except going back to see if Tesla went back into that positive mood. Up 1.18%, or up $2.97, sitting at 255. All right. So, what did I tell you a little while ago? Brian White, later today, you're going to want to see that show. And then we've got Nick Gibbs coming on as a co-host tonight. I think you're going to enjoy that. I think that's going to be a great. Finally, we have our team together. Every night we have a co-host that I think is going to bring enlightenment and a different view. I was shooting for people that I have a different take. Certainly, we've got a wide range of ages, and I think that brings interest. And so that will be Nick Gibbs co-hosting tonight. And then, of course, let me just go and talk just another minute. Let me talk for 1 second about Patreon. You definitely want to get involved in Patreon. I want to start subscribing to more things that are behind, behind paywalls. I'd like to spend maybe another $100, $150, $200 a month. So that would require about 10, 15 folks to jump onto Patreon to cover that. So if you're getting $5 a month worth of value out of the channel, and you'd like to get even more value by me getting behind some paywalls that maybe you're not behind, and I'd like to get behind, that would be a real help. Another way you can help the channel, but also help yourself, because I had a guy yesterday, he says, yeah, I work at a major automobile company that's not Tesla, and I'm buying 3 of these to hand out to my fellow employees because they know I love Tesla, even though I'm working for somebody else. And he says that I'm just going to get a kick out of that. So, so there you go. There's another reason to buy these. Remember the numbers: $25 for one, unless you want special handling, that's $30. And then special handling is normal when you get to 2 at $45, 3 at $65, 4 at $90, and 5 at $110. All right. There you go. That's all I got for you. Let's get this thing up online so you can see it. It's been great talking to you this morning.